What are some common things parents do / say that is actually hurts their child but they think is innocent?
Educator here. When kids succeed or do well, many parents compliment them by calling them smart. As it turns out, studies have shown that calling kids smart motivates them to attempt easy tasks and avoid hard ones. The child is trying to fish for that compliment and wants to appear smart, thus only attempts things it knows it will succeed at. It's much better to compliment a child on working hard, whether he succeeds or fails, rather than tell him he's smart when he succeeds. Making it obvious through gestures that one is either the favorite or the excluded. For extra burn, refuse to acknowledge you're doing it. My sister graduated, they paid for her first semester of college and straight out bought a house for her to live in at $200 rent instead of the local average of $500. I graduated and I got a crock pot. No help with school or living arrangements. Just a crock pot as a grad gift. No grad party. Older sister had a graduation party with like half the school. Younger sister graduated. Parents offered to pay for all her schooling. They bought her a house to live in free. She doesn't because she's above that, and the house isn't good enough, so she still lives at home. That shit has been going on since we were little. That's just the most recent example. And yeah, I'd better believe that shit still fucks with my head. People don't need the same level of help. I understand that, but at least offer to make it comparable. If I'd been able to turn that down, it's have been better than just knowing that they gave my siblings grad parties and presents well over $30k when you consider the fact that they fucking bought 2 houses. And I got a crock pot and a ride to Walmart to pick up some cheap plastic dishes for college that I had to buy. And throughout us growing up, I can't count how many times I was hit, kicked, cut, strangled, bruised or scarred by my other 5 siblings. And it was always my fault and I deserved it. My parents told me I deserved being strangled by my brother. Who TF does that? Anytime I've tried to bring it up with them, my parents brush it off, say we're different, but loved equally, and that they're proud. The only reason I'm where I'm at is because I wasn't coddled nearly as much. I'm 22, have a full-time job, 3 years military experience, bought my own house, and have no student loan debt. Because I was always working to be the best, so my parents would actually maybe offer to treat me semi-decently equal. But it just never fucking happened. But on the flip side, I have no ability to maintain healthy relationships, talk more to my dog than people outside of work, and probably have an alphabet soup of mental illness issues that have gone undiagnosed because they are shoved to the back burner in hopes of maybe being considered equal in importance to my brothers and sisters. Commenting on their appearance constantly, in either a positive or negative way. If all the compliments you give your child, all that other people give your child, are about their appearance, they will begin to equate the way they look with their value as a person. On the other hand, if you constantly nag at them about their appearance or their weight or the way they dress, they'll develop lifelong insecurities about, and related to, their appearance. When they see their son talking to a girl and immediately say AWW, you got a girlfriend? It fucks up their perception of females. It makes them feel extremely awkward around girls and unable to talk to them properly. It makes them consciously think about how they can draw the line between friends and romantic partners. Since it's a concept they have zero experience in, the awkwardness and cringe just bubble to the surface. They aren't allowed to organically identify where the line is drawn. For me, what really bothered me was I was a good kid, on a roll or star roll. Always did my homework on my own without needing my parents to keep up with it. I spent hours and hours at dance, working or taking class. I was not out running the streets. When I had free time, I often just read books or watched movies at home. I did what I was supposed to do. But my parents still loved to find things to nitpick and lecture me about. It was minor things like not putting a dish away or something stupid and trivial. I feel like they thought if they were not lecturing me, they were not being a good parent, so they would find something to bitch at me about, and since I was not a fuck up, that meant they had to dig deep and pick on whatever they could find. It really fucked up my self-esteem and made it where I can't take criticism now because I see it as an attack. My mother used to say you shouldn't be too picky, it's not like you're that pretty, when I was young. Till this very day I could still remember the place where she said it, and the weather of that day. Never felt beautiful growing up, no matter how much compliments I get. I got confused when great people showed interest in me, and always feels like they're out of my league, and it can't be real. Tell your daughters they're beautiful, you don't know how much that means to them. Force them to clear the plate every time. I've seen that shit ruin lives. Now my siblings have zero ability to know when they're full and eats massive portions. I've met adults that have horrible and unhealthy relationships with food because their parents forced them to clear their plate growing up. It's the one thing I know I won't do to my kids when I have them. Not sure how common this is, but my parents and some other parents I've come across don't recognize the impact of controlling their kids. I've seen a lot of parents, mine included, stealthily scare their kids into submission so that they can't stick up for themselves. And I don't mean the petty arguments you have as a teenager. I feel like I have no individuality, and that my parents think it's the norm to control their kids and not bother treating them like people. A few things my parents did while I was in primary school and still do 10 years later. Come into my bedroom whenever they damn feel like it, even though I politely ask them not to multiple times. Going through my stuff in my room and reorganizing it, journals, clothes etc. It's just rude and annoying because I can't find anything when they do that. Insisting I tell them all my passwords, phone unlock, Instagram, locker code for school etc. They have to monitor everything I do online. They put a bedtime on my phone, Xbox and computer at 8:30 p.m. WTF. If I search, watch, screenshot or type anything, at the end of the day they get a notification telling them when and what I did. Any test I get under 70% on they shame me on how they are very disappointed in me and how I didn't try at all, and the typical be more like your sister card. Please never do any of these things to your kid, it really fucks them up. It makes them feel they can't trust you for anything and will probably rebel and hate you. I personally am very distant from my parents for these reasons. You want to be when you grow up. There isn't any money in that / you can't make a living doing that. Be a doctor / engineer, then you can afford to do that as a hobby. I've been obsessed with collecting insects since I was 4, and I learned what an entomologist was when I was 5. Years of hearing that my passion would lead nowhere caused me to enter the wrong university, but meet some amazing lifelong friends with the wrong major, only to transfer out and eventually get a bachelor's in entomology after 7 years. I'm 30 now, and I have an amazing job at my local government dealing with animal / insect disease vectors, and we have an insectary where I'm allowed to keep a bunch of my fun insect cultures. Those times were rocky, and I know that I could never do the same for my future children. When I was younger I had really bad anxiety, but my mom thought I was faking it. I'm talking under 10 years old. My older sister was super athletic and played every sport in school. My mom always forced me to play volleyball, soccer, t-ball etc. when I actually hated it. She always told me to suck it up and it'll be over in like an hour. This went in 4 years, and to this day I get so mad thinking about it. I have a niece that's showing a lot of the same signs of anxiety and my mom is throwing her in sports too. I just feel bad because I hope it doesn't affect her later on like me. Stop being stupid. It's something I used to say a lot, by accident, when my daughter was doing something "silly" or perhaps not how I liked it. I would just say give over being stupid or stop acting stupid. I didn't realize it was bad until she just started crying one day saying, "I'm not stupid, don't call me that." I wasn't calling her stupid, I was calling the action she was doing stupid, but to her it meant the same thing and I just didn't realize that. It broke my heart that she thought I thought she was stupid or that she would ever think of herself as stupid. I still slip up every now and then, but I try to correct it. When they destroy you for doing something they don't approve of, so you lie instead, so you don't have to go through that. And they don't understand that you're only lying because you're scared to tell the truth. But either way you're getting in trouble because they don't understand that things happen. So you take the risk and lie because you have a better chance of getting away with it rather than telling the truth. Lose-lose situation, though. My siblings and I are very high achieving and naturally intelligent. More importantly, we have passion for learning and work incredibly hard to do well academically. One of the worst ways my parents have weaponized this is with the simple phrase, "You're supposed to be so smart, why can't you do X?" X was usually something we had never attempted before, or weren't taught how to do properly. Clean dishes, assemble toy, work foreign electronics. Made all of us fear mistakes or missteps, and to this day we get very defensive around each other for fear of showing our family we aren't really that smart. Dad of 3 littles here. I have unfortunately developed a terrible habit giving lot of negative reinforcement, saying no a lot, disciplining, correcting. It's lazy parenting, and I can see its negative effects on my kiddos, and can see how it hurts them. Lately I've been trying to focus on the majority of my interaction being positive. Yes. Let's go on a walk. Yes. Let's read a book. Yes. Let's wrestle. Yes. I'd be happy to make that for breakfast. They are a lot happier and calmer knowing their dad isn't a grumpy tyrant. Please stop reminding me to do X when I already know. It makes me feel like you don't trust me to even remember that I need to do something. It makes me feel like I'm stupid, or like there's something wrong with me, and like I shouldn't even trust myself to take care of things. If something isn't getting done, please consider if anxiety is a problem. And if it is, reminding me how bad or scary it is when X doesn't get done will not help. Also, cornering me and asking me why I haven't done it will not help. My mom used to shame me for anything sexual. She'd purposefully go through my history and make disgusted comments, ask what's wrong with me, tell me she'd put me in a group since I'm so addicted. She'd even break into my room when she knew I was masturbating and call me disgusting, or just to show that she can come in at any time whenever she wanted. The room doors in the house had that slit thing on the other side of a locked door, so all you'd need was a penny, or, in her case, acrylic nails to unlock it. My dad is the kind of person who is 110% all the time every day all day. Like, there are no relaxing hobbies he has besides reading on the metro on the way to work. He also can't understand that not everyone is that way. So every single time I saw him on weekends or after school he would give me a task to do. No good morning, breakfast could wait, the whole 9 yards. And it wasn't like take out the trash, it would be more like mow the lawn. At 7 in the morning on a Saturday when I just woke up. Otherwise he's genuinely a kind and caring father, just he can't turn efficiency mode off. So anyway, he incentivized me and my siblings to never leave our rooms, because we knew if we stepped foot outside we'd be doing work all day. If we just left it alone he would use all that energy to do the work himself. But now I have this tendency to just hang out in my room alone even as an adult. Nobody cares if you don't feel good, you still have to go to school. When you're an adult, no one is going to care, and you will still have to go to work. I still have a hard time admitting when I'm sick and actually need to take a day off. I usually feel like I'm making it up, even if I have a fever, and if I just try harder I won't be sick. Everyone feels like that, you just have to suck it up. I got this a lot when I was depressed and suicidal as a teen. Not my parents, but other people used to tell me I'm mature for my age when I was around 10. I never understood what that meant. My grades weren't the best, I wasn't the most popular kid. What did I do that made me so different from the other kids? Being mature for my age didn't do anything really. It didn't help in anything, nor people did anything to help me make that trait significant. Maybe I was just anxious, not mature. I might be less mature for my age now, haha. Expecting the older sibling to be the better person. My little sister had always been the strongest of us too because she has a condition that required basically steroids injected into her to grow. The same condition lowers her emotional intelligence. She's not completely devoid of emotion or anything, but she lacks common sense when it comes to other people's emotions. She would chase me around the house to beat me up, would punch, hit and scratch me, and I couldn't hit back, or I would get in trouble. She was never made to apologize, but I was always getting in trouble for pushing her buttons. I definitely did sometimes, but even on occasions where I would do nothing wrong, she would lose it. Even now that she's almost 18 and I'm 21, she'll hit and smack things out of my hands, or if I touch her arm, she'll start yelling at me telling me to shut up when I try to say something completely benign. My dad told me to just not say anything, and that I should have known better. If she gets in trouble for physically hitting me, or for her yelling at me, I also get in trouble for supposedly provoking her, because I'm the one who should be more mature. Now I'm one of those chronic sorry sayers, and have a hard time saying no to people, and give in too easily, because I was always told to just let things go. I'm scared of things coming towards me, and I sometimes flinch when my boyfriend tries to hug me, or even touch me unexpectedly. I have terrible social and general anxiety, have trust issues and low self-esteem. It's really just a bunch of bad shit that I felt like could be remedied if my parents didn't make me feel responsible for my own abuse. Why I'm not fully open to my mum. She reminds me of when I used to use my computer too much, and how she never stopped me. How I could have tried harder in school. She reminds me of how I didn't fully complete my plumbing training. She reminds me how I haven't leaped towards the teaching English as a foreign language. As a result, I don't tell her what I'm working towards or hope to do just in case I change my mind, or it becomes a bad idea. I don't want extra intermission for her to have. I came out as gay to my mum. Her response was that it was normal to be disinterested in women until I was older. I was the age she started dating my dad. That being gay means I will miss out on touching my biological spawn and having that moment that I'll make another man miss out too. I won't tell her about relationships because she didn't listen to me. So yes, I live with my parents still, and I don't tell them what's going on in my head. They'll know when I move out, when I don't have to live with their feedback or commentary. My mum just loves me, and she blames herself a lot. I cannot talk to her